but she ain't so pretty.
You know you oughta pump the brakes, I can't tell you why don't you let it go. I'm the line and finally I'ma let you know you're somewhere in between my legs. Hey, you know there ain't another girl like her in the city. Yeah, you know she looks.
When the sun goes down, here with you I'm found. In your love I drown. I wouldn't have it any other way. Ooh, I'm making memories with you. All of the stupid things we do. We may be young, but we are wild and free, making memories. I'm making memories with you. All of the stupid things we do. We may be young, but we are wild and free, making memories. Take me by the hand, let's forget our plans. Dreams are all we have, I wouldn't have it any other way. When the sun goes down, here with you I'm found. In your love I drown. I wouldn't have it any other way. Ooh,
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Dear students, dear graduates, dear parents, dear colleagues, we're all delighted to welcome you here today for this EDHEC celebration, whether it be in person or remotely, for those who could not come today but who are here with us via streaming. Now, as you know, this ceremony is special in more ways than one. Of course, its organization had to be rushed due to the health situation in France and throughout the world, but it's also the first time that we're welcoming not only two classes together, those of 2020 and 2021, but also classes from our different English-speaking courses, the Global Business and International Management with a foreign language. And for this purpose, translation headsets are available for translation from French into English.
Translation. This ceremony is, of course, special. Its organization had to be adapted due to the pandemic in France and around the planet. But it is also the first time that we have two cohorts together, 2020 and 2021, and the classes of our different English-speaking tracks, the Global Business and the International Management of a Foreign Language. So translation headsets are, of course, available French to English.
I'd like to reassure those of you who are worried that you'll not be able to get a souvenir photo of the ceremony, or that someone will come in front of your camera at the worst possible moment when your child's on stage. Now, professional photographers are covering the entire event. Thank you very much to the two of them. They'll be covering the entire event, as I just said, and they'll give you access to all of the photos that are taken today. Now, furthermore, for security reasons and also for the smooth running of this event, which is going to last about 2 hours, we'd like to ask you to remain in your seats during the whole ceremony, except, of course, for our former students, when they're going to be invited to join us on the stage. Now, Jean-Christophe, I think you'd like to say a few words to our former students. Thank you very much, Alicia. I'm delighted, as are all of my colleagues, to be able to see you all again at last on the occasion of your EDHEC celebration, this ceremony which officially marks the end of your studies, for all of you whom I've had the immense pleasure of accompanying. You deserve this ceremony, all the more as, just like us, you've lived through 2 very complicated years, during which we were more or less directly affected by this disease and its consequences. Even if the health crisis is in no way related, and even though this ceremony is above all festive, I'd like us to think of both Hugo Rigoux and Hugo Nous during this event, 2 of our former students whose departures deeply moved us all, shocked us, and appalled us in the face of this injustice of life, which took away your 2 classmates, our 2 students, who were so endearing and promised such magnificent success. I'm convinced that, like me, you've not forgotten them and that you will never forget them. This period that we've been through, and which we're finally seeing the end of, will have generated many changes in our behavior and habits. But at the end of the day, you've developed new skills that will be very useful to you, even if we all hope that you will never experience such a situation again. Whatever lies ahead, I wanted to wish you all the best for your future, and also congratulate you for your years spent on our program, for your different actions. I've so many memories with your 2 cohorts, and it would be far too long, of course, to recall each of them. Nevertheless, I'd like to thank in particular all those with whom I've been able to work directly, whether it be on open days, at the beginning of the school year, at conferences, at delegates' meetings, at school councils, at competitions or during work with your associations, etc. You know how much I appreciate our discussions. I don't always hear from you, but I follow your networks as much as I can in order to keep up to date with what's happening in your lives. It's always a great pleasure to see how you've evolved. So don't hesitate to keep us informed. Do not hesitate to come and see us either. You will always be welcome, as you know. Finally, I hope that you will be able to take full advantage of all of the opportunities that will be offered to you, that you will encourage them. The 4 years I've spent with you have given me the certainty that your 2 cohorts will go far, very far, that many doors will open for you, and that your advancements will be rapid and remarkable. Act according to your principles, and with the aim of making this world a better place. Respect our values, respect your values. Be proud of the journey you've completed and the one to come. Just as we're proud of our alumni from the classes of 2020 and 2021. Congratulations to all of our graduates. I'd now like to hand over to Emmanuel Mété, the Director General of EDHEC Business School.
Bon, il y a un pupitre, mais j'ai voulu être au milieu de vous. Voilà, donc désolé, par moment je tournerai le dos. Je vais essayer de tourner un peu quand même. Mais j'ai voulu vraiment être avec vous parce que, comme ça a été dit, c'est un moment qu'on a vraiment attendu depuis 2 ans. J'imagine que vous aussi. Chers étudiants, chers parents, chers amis, mes chers collègues, chers professeurs, chers collaborateurs de l'EDHEC, chers diplômés, il y en a dans la salle, beaucoup. Bienvenue sur notre magnifique campus lillois, par un climat lillois, j'insiste là-dessus. C'est encore une fois un grand plaisir. Je sais que certains d'entre vous viennent de loin, donc merci d'être là et heureux d'être là tous ensemble pour ce moment de fête et de célébration. Alors, je vais commencer par un petit clin d'œil affectif à une personne qui aurait vraiment aimé être là aujourd'hui, qui ne peut pas être là aujourd'hui parce qu'elle est positive au Covid, malheureusement. Ouais. C'est notre président, le président de l'EDHEC, Bruno de Pamplonne. J'ai la chance de présider aux destinées de la communauté EDHEC avec Bruno depuis 5 ans maintenant. Je crois qu'on forme un bon couple, du moins je l'espère. Je sais qu'il aurait vraiment voulu être là aujourd'hui parce que c'était un jour très spécial pour lui. Il était venu de Singapour spécialement.
He came from Singapore especially for that, and to be here with you, and especially with one person today who's going to be receiving his diploma, and with whom I would like to wish a warm welcome, Now, when we give our diplomas, it's always a very special time, and we have so many traditions during which a generation hands over to another generation, and so it's quite an interesting time when we talk about the past, the future. And when I prepared this ceremony, we tried to identify in the database of the EDHEC graduates, we tried to find the oldest EDHEC graduate who is still alive today. Because there's a tradition, you know, there's a history, you're all going to be members of this shared heritage. And as somebody who was sitting in your place a few years ago, maybe a little bit before the Second World War, in 1938, Mr. Jacques Carpentier. Jacques Carpentier was given his diploma in 1938. He was born on the 16th of June 1918. He's 103. We spoke to him on the phone recently. He's in good health, and he lives in residence not far from here. And we're so proud. We're so proud to know that we are part of this long tradition. Imagine at the time, with only a dozen students in the school in the north of France, only men. or almost only men, and have a look at what the school's become today with 10,000 students, 150 professors, 700 members of staff, a campus in Lille, Paris, Nice, Singapore. Imagine where you will be in 30 years. What will the school be like in 30 years? Maybe you'll be here. Maybe you'll be sitting there looking at your children receiving their EDHEC diplomas. I know that we have got graduates who are here watching their children today. And so it's this way of handing over this ritual of passing on from generation to generation, which is so stimulating when we have our graduation days. Now, to be honest, the environment today is slightly obscure. Obviously, we're delighted to be able to see each other now after the pandemic. We've been waiting for this date for such a long time, but at the same time, we're in an environment which is complex, which is difficult. With global warming, I don't have to talk about that in detail, the war in Ukraine, and the eternal peace that we had hoped for in Europe, that my generation had hoped for in Europe, is unfortunately showing its limits and collapsing. And so the situation is difficult, and it's your generation that is going to have to deal with this situation and make sure that in the years to come, we can live in a world which is even better. Not so long ago, historians from the University of Harvard asked themselves a question, and they wanted to know which period had been the most difficult in the history of humanity. For the men and women who live on this planet, we could have thought of the Second World War, we could have thought of the plague, but they went back to the year 536. Why 536? Well, because one of the historians at the time said it was a year without sunshine. And we discovered much later, thanks to the ice surveys, we realized that there had been a lot of volcanoes erupting throughout the northern hemisphere was covered with a cloud of ashes, and so the sunlight was actually blocked out for a year, and so they were the coldest temperatures that had ever been had over the 2,000 years. So you can imagine this was followed by famine, pandemics, war, the decline of empires, etc., etc. And so the conclusion was that if we're in a situation that's difficult today, we're not, for the moment, in one of the worst situations that humanity's already experienced, but we are in a difficult period of time. And one thing that is really determining, really important, and that I would like to insist on today for you is what we call in our language today, when we're in a situation which is difficult like today, we have to think about how resilient we are. We have to think of our capability to resist in the face of adversity, and not just resist, but to try and transform it into a driving force. Now, obviously, we've got to resist to negative events. We've got to be very brave and courageous, but we've also got to show solidarity. We have got to be able to maintain our values, be loyal to our values. We've got to be able to adapt, transform the way in which we act. We've got to be able to innovate, create. And as far as that's concerned, I wanted to say how proud I am and how happy I am to have seen how the EDHEC community, us all together, we have been able to face the pandemic and the COVID crisis, which was a major crisis for humanity, if we consider over the last decades. And we were able to be brave, we were able to resist in the face of adversity, we were able to adapt, we were able to show solidarity. And I think of you, students, because I have children your age, I know what the situation was like, where the pandemic didn't really strike you, first and foremost, but you accepted lockdown, you accepted to give up part of your social life, you accepted to take your lessons remotely from home, and maybe you've discovered that sit in a class with a teacher wasn't so bad after all. But I think you have showed your abnegation in these types of circumstances. I'd like to thank you. I think of the members of staff who overnight had to give lessons from their living rooms, their bedrooms, had to move on to distance learning, which isn't something that's so easy to develop. And then we moved on to hybrid learning, where we had to give lessons with a mask, which is the opposite to what you'd hope to do as a teacher. I think of the staff in EDHEC who had to adapt as well, adapt the technologies in the school. And when we moved on to hybrid learning, we had to think about what it was like to, work at school and work from home. And I think of the solidarity that the alumni and parents have shown. We have a solidarity fund which has been enabled us to fund hundreds of students who are going through this crisis period. And then I think of the governance of the school. We launched our 2020 plan on the day we were locked down in March 2020, and we announced the EDHEC plan for future generations the very day where we had to go into lockdown. And we decided with governance and with the board that we would maintain where we were heading. We decided to maintain our priorities. We said, okay, there's COVID, but we're going to face up to this, but the priorities and the plan for the generations to come are going to be maintained, and we're going to invest, and we're going to carry our projects forward. And that enables us to say today that yes, our projects are there, yes, we're in line with our plan, we've adapted, we've learned from COVID. There are things that we could have done better, but on the whole, we managed. And not only did we manage faced with COVID, but we have maintained our guideline, and I'd like to share some of the news with you. So, for example, the professors at EDHEC published in 2021 more scientific articles than they had ever published in the previous years. And they used COVID so that they could work on research. So over 200 stars, which is 40% more than in 2020. In terms of research, we wanted to create a research center for climatic sciences. We've created it. We're now starting to talk about it. We've got a campaign in France and abroad about greenwashing so that we can help the financial industry to reform in the face of climate change, and that's what we want to do here in EDHEC. We've opened a new campus a few steps away from here, the Jean Arnaud campus, thanks to the Arnaud family sponsorship. It's a family from Roubaix. It started here. They're a major family in the north, and it's a campus which is going to enable us to work on entrepreneurship with an incubator. And so thanks to this patronage, we're working with the Institute of Vocations, which helps students who are in difficulty and help them to turn their situation around. So it was the pandemic, the borders were closed, but we decided to open EDHEC America, and we opened an organization there. We've got 200 students in California, in the campuses of Berkeley and UCLA, and so we're developing internationally despite the pandemic. And then the last piece of news I wanted to share with you is that we have this social opening as well. We've decided to completely reform our policy for sponsorship, and it represents 60 million euros in terms of grants and scholarships for EDHEC. It's important. It's a huge step forward, but it's something that I wanted to share with you today. And all of this gives us the rankings that we have today. Now, I normally say that rankings aren't an end in themselves, but when they're good, especially in a crisis period, we're happy. I'm not going to mention them all, but I'd just like to mention one, which is probably the most important of them for us. EDHEC is now in the top European class ranking of the Financial Times. We're in the top 10 with schools like Oxford, the London Business School, like our friends from HEC, INSEAD, MD, and so we're in the top 10 in Europe, and I think it's thanks to the energy and the resilience that you and we have all shown during these circumstances. To conclude, two things, because optimism is always the most important thing, especially on a day like today. I'd like to come back to 536. A few years later, the same ice showed lead in the ice and showed that human activity had come back. And I think that's the most important thing, to consider that whatever the circumstances may be, there's always optimism. And remember, our motto here is make an impact, so we want to act. And I just want to leave you with a quotation from the philosopher Alan, who said, "Pessimism comes from the temperament, optimism from the will." Thank you very much. I wish you all a wonderful day together with your families at EDHEC, and the best of luck for the future.
I now call Angelo Bisignano, Director of the Global Business Track and International Management Track, to say a few words to our students.
Hi, parents, students, colleagues, professors, thank you very much for being with us today. Innovation, engagement, and impact are the three pillars on which the programs have been developed at EDHEC, are the three values on which our education is built. And all of you have done this and lived this in your classes, with your professors, in your projects, in your activities of sports, in your activities of voluntary efforts. And day by day, you became ambassadors of EDHEC and of its values in Munich, in Los Angeles, in Singapore, in everywhere in the world, at your houses. You became and you embodied these symbols. And if you go back, I look around and I see now, young adults ready for the world. But if you look back and if you think of the first steps you took when you walked through EDHEC, you were curious about things going on, but perhaps you might have noticed a little statue at the entrance here in Lille or in Nice, where there is a person walking in a circle, and that is the EDHEC logo, and represents the journey of students within EDHEC, but also represents the engagement of that EDHEC has with humankind, with the past, and with everything those values embody for society. Today, in front of your parents and your professors and your peers, you will exit through that door, and you will take the last step of this journey. But at the same time, you will take the first step into a world that needs you, into a world where you can embody, you can present those values again. And believe me, as Emmanuel Maté said, outside there is a world that now needs you. It's a world that needs caring. It's a world that needs Angelo's hugs. It's a world that needs future generations like you, that needs people like you who can make an impact on the things that you will have down there. And we know you are ready. So this is why we celebrate today with your parents and with your families and with your friends. We celebrate that you are ready to go there and represent what we hoped the first day you walked in, that you were able to do it. And we believe in you, and we know that you will be able to do that, because over the last 4 years, the world has changed a lot, but you have changed a lot. You have developed an activity now an agility to change and adapt. You have developed an ability to be enterprising and to make changes. You have developed an ability to engage and talk with everyone. And this is what makes you EDHEC alumni. This is what makes you who you are. Today, you make us, you make your parents proud. And this is a great moment in the life of parents. They see you finally going out there into the world. Tomorrow, you will be the pride of the world. You will be EDHEC alumni making an impact in life. Congratulations, classes of 2020 and 2021. And make some noise.
Thank you very much, Angelo. Chers étudiants,
Dear students, although we're sure you've already done so, we'd like to give you the opportunity to thank your parents again for accompanying you, supporting you in your choices, and even sponsoring you and having contributed to the success of your journey. So we're going to ask you to stand up. Stand up, students. Turn to your parents and give them the applause they deserve.
Merci encore.
Thank you very much again to all of the parents for having placed their trust in us. Thank you. Now, dear students, your parents were not the only ones who accompanied you during your years here at EDHEC. It was also the objective of your teachers and lecturers, of all of the personnel, from all of the units, departments, and a number of them, or even a lot of them, wanted to be with us today. And I'm going to ask them to join us on stage. So professors, lecturers, and other colleagues, if you'd like to join us on the stage, and our speakers, finally the administrative staff as well.
Sur la scène.
If you'd like to come up onto the stage, everyone. Sabine Ruhr, professor at EDHEC, would like to say a few words to all of our students. Dear students, ladies and gentlemen, we are thinking of our colleagues and friends, Anne Charlotte Waterloo, who left us in December 2021. She worked with the teaching team for the BBA for 20 years and she loved her students. She helped you when you created your associations as part of your PPA, and then throughout your courses she shared her skills and her knowledge in law, and so it's when she passed on this knowledge that she gained her strength so that she could fight her illness. And she wasn't tolerant with herself, but she was so caring for each and every one of you and encouraged you to give your best, and she encouraged you in your hearts and in your minds, and I'm sure that you remember what a good teacher she was and what a wonderful, generous personality she had. And on behalf of the faculty, we would like to honor her memory and express our recognition for everything that she gave, without counting, with such sincerity and simplicity to the school. And so, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for her, for this career that she had within the school.
Chères étudiantes,
dear students, on behalf of the professors, on behalf of the support teams and all of the EDHEC departments, we're delighted to be able to see you here today in person, and so that we can see your smiles, which have been covered by a mask for far too long. This is your day. It's a special day which marks the end of your studies within the bachelor's program, but a beginning as well, a new academic future that you have chosen to continue if you continue your studies, or maybe you will be moving on to employment, maybe with a little bit of concern, but also with a lot of happiness as well. And so it's now time to look at what's possible in the future so that you can use your entrepreneurial genes to show that you can do anything you want to, even if over the last 2 years we must admit that so many things that have been unexpected have given us events which have been complex, difficult, and led to instability. And we hope that the diploma which crowns your journey here in EDHEC has enabled you to acquire knowledge, know-how, a way of being, a lot of knowledge, skills, and also aptitudes which will be necessary so that you can gain in agility and so that you can face the changes in our society. That's our ambition. That your professional choices will enable you to nourish your curiosity, to cultivate your open-mindedness, and also your way of looking to the future. You have got to keep this thirst for knowledge, unlearning, know how to make a difference, and also search for your singularity. But above all, you have got to remain loyal to your values and your dreams. As soon as you came to the BBA, as part of your PPA, you wanted to begin projects that had meaning and prove that you were committed to the ecology and society. And in a few promotions, you have gone from being whistleblowers to actors for change, so that you can have an impact in your career. And so doing good has become your mantra, and you want to make businesses grow so that you can improve the planet at the same time, and that's become a challenge for you all. All of the professors, all of the teams here in EDHEC who have been by your sides on a daily basis throughout these years are very proud of your journey, proud of your success, and proud of your capabilities during your academic exchanges, during your studies to bounce back, proud of your capabilities to be resilient, and proud of your ambition. And we would like to congratulate you all for your new status of being young graduates, and we'd like to wish you fruitful futures on the journeys that you have chosen. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you very much for your commitment. Thank you very much. It's now time for the EDHEC Student Engagement Awards, where we celebrate graduates for the personal qualities that have led them to make an outstanding contribution to the life of the school in areas that represent EDHEC's values: innovation, impact, and engagement.
Alors, je pense que c'était un petit peu coupé.
Now, I think it was a little bit short, but for the EDHEC Student Engagement Awards, I'd like to invite Benoît, Director of Programs at the school, to join me.
Alors,
we're going to start with the English courses, so Global Business and International Management with a Foreign Language, and I'd like to also call their director, Angelo Bisignano. And for these first two awards, I'd like to call on Aurélien Berbent and Sonia Ajdian.
I'm very proud today to introduce for the first award Aurélien Birban. Aurélien is a founder of Artilea, a company that connects creators, designers from France worldwide. And he is with pride that takes all the best made in France all over the world and made the most of engaging with traveling all over the world and traveling within the global business program to create and make an impact on enterprising. Aurélien, congratulations.
Par ici, c'est bon.
Hello, everybody. It's a lot of people today. I'm very honored to be standing in front of all of you today. And I want to thank Mr. Bisignano for giving me the opportunity of speaking. Thank you. Like most of you, the first time I stepped on campus, I was 18. I was full of dreams and so excited by this new chapter of our lives. So many new faces, a beautiful campus, with such a special energy. EDHEC understood the need for us to be global-minded and embarked us among this amazing journey where we got to live on 3 continents in the span of 4 years. It was an extraordinary experience where we got to meet so many people with such different backgrounds and cultures. It was really fulfilling to get to represent EDHEC and France around the world. This pride and these values animated me and made me start my own company, Tirez. I want to thank EDHEC entrepreneurs for giving me the chance to pursue my dreams by letting me join EDHEC Incubator at Station F. It is such an enriching experience, full of inspiring people, that really pushed me in my entrepreneurial journey and in the development of Tirez. I'm extremely proud of all of you, already reaching your dreams, achieving great things, and already getting your dream jobs. It is so impressive. And I can't wait to see what the future has in store for us. I dearly miss my student times and my fellow classmates. It is true, time flies. We are now on campus 6 years later. I want to congratulate my friend Alexandre Mitoir for recently selling his company at the age of only 23 years old. Man, you're so impressive and so inspiring. Now, I want to give a special mention for my longtime sponsors that accepted to believe in me and supporting me all these years. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Finally, I want to thank the whole EDHEC family that was always super supportive during my academic and professional endeavors. I want to stress this. This is the strength of our EDHEC network. All of us helping out each other and pushing one another towards achieving greatness. And this is why we are the EDHEC family. Thank you.
Stay.
And I'm particularly proud to introduce to you Sonia Jean from the International Management with a foreign language track. Sonia is someone who, throughout her career at EDHEC, and even now, she has been promoting African entrepreneurs and putting them in contact and with other realities and other stakeholders in Europe and in different countries. And she has been promoting the values of EDHEC in Africa and creating more opportunities for everyone. So we're very proud of the work Sonia's been doing, and this is why she is today for this award.
Sorry. Sorry. So I will start off by saying congratulations to class of 2020 and class of 2021. A big shout out to the German and LATAM cohort that was always forgotten, including by EDHEC. I also want to take the time to thank the administration for making sure we all got this far in life. Finally, I would like to show some appreciation for my brother, Alexandre. You've probably seen him on TV. He's an actor, actually, on TF1. And my friend Niels for coming. So a round of applause for all of us. As you can imagine, I'm very honored to be here. To be honest, when I arrived in France in 2017 from South Africa, I had no idea what was in for me. I remember entering EDHEC by the back door, looking around and thinking to myself, I was like, damn, nobody looks like me. How am I going to be here and how am I going to do this? I was shocked, but it also became my motor. I wanted to make sure that nobody saw that difference. And so I had to integrate myself. And that's how I ended up joining an EDHEC association. That's how I ended up being at the EDHEC rugby club. I even did the rallies. Some of you know it. I was in the student council. I became class representative. And basically, by giving a piece of myself everywhere and to everyone, I actually ended up falling apart. I had to quickly pick myself up. But then I realized I also had to pick up my friends. And they also needed to pick up their friends. And everybody was helping each other. It was a continuing chain. We were helping each other, and at that moment, I realized the power of EDHEC. EDHEC brings out the singularity of each one of us within its collectivity. All those given pieces that all of you have been distributing combined, they're your entity force. They're your singularity. And so, at EDHEC, it's important for you to know that you've got to be yourself. Thank you. So as I was saying, it's important to know that you've got to be yourself to make an impact. And EDHEC gives you the tools and the stage to do so if you work hard enough. With EDHEC, I have spent the last 4 years traveling as much as I could and as much as I wanted while studying. I was in Brazil, I was in Ghana, I was in Ivory Coast, I was in Togo, in Benin. I worked through my studies with the BRICS Policy Center, the OECD. I even did some research for the African Development Fund on the number of female board members throughout the continent. Basically, I did everything I wanted to, however and wherever. I wanted to contribute to as many lives as possible in my own way, and EDHEC gives you that opportunity. Engagement, impact, and innovation. EDHEC values that are anchored in my mind and should be anchored in your minds. This will continuously forge our path, our careers, and our decision. So it's important for you all to remember, we know what we are, but know not what we may be. Thank you for your time and for listening to me.
Let's take a picture.
Trophy?
Thank you very much to our awarded students. Thank you, Angelo. And j'appelle maintenant.
And I now call upon Jean-Christophe Meffredi for the Business Management Programme Awards.
Et pour ces prix, j'appelle.
And for the prizes, I would like to invite on stage Marion Duboc and Xavier Stortini. So we're going to start with Marion. Marion, first of all, I'd like to say commitment, impact. You've always had those two values. And Marion, as you maybe know, she has represented our school on many occasions in lots of competitions. But I think that the one that defines her the best would be Mr. Planck. But he describes her best because he's always said that she is an excellent judoka with outstanding human qualities. Now, Marion, I'll let you go to the lectern if you'd like to say a few words. Hello, everyone. There's a lot of people feeling under pressure here. First of all, I'd like to thank Jean-Christophe Meffredi, the administration, and all of the professors for this award. I'd also like to thank Stéphane Planck, Christine Maillot, for whom I have a lot of affection. And I've invested in EDHEC. Thanks to them, we were able to share values together and desires for the future. Before I was a student, I was a sportswoman. I have been doing judo since I was 4 years old. I'm 24 now, up to you to do the maths. And it's a way for me to express myself, and it's enabled me to create my personality. And with my top-level sports experience, I've learned that I like to fight every day for something. And I fought to become a member of EDHEC, and EDHEC always fights for its students. It's a door that opens towards a career, and it opens a way as well to a fulfilled future. Judo is a team sport, even though you're on your own on the mat, but you have to work with your partners if you want to progress. And in the same way, we have to accept to be partners with others who also want to make progress. It's a sport where you have to be committed, both physically but also mentally. And that's why it was obvious for me to become a part of this school, be committed beyond the campus, and the impact, the commitment, innovation, and representing EDHEC in competitions, whether it be as an individual or as a team, has enabled the school to shine beyond just the academic realm, and that's just as important. And within the team, that's created a strength for us throughout this adventure. The last time I came to the campus, I came to Stéphane's office, and I think he probably remembers what happened. And I came with two things, proudly. A medal from the national championship, and also, thank you very much. Now, I'd like to go back in time a little bit. You were a member of the JC, weren't you? Okay. President of the BDE Beyond. And I saw that when you arrived, BDE was reorganized just before the ceremony. Probably one of the first presidents of BDE to have worked closely with the program directorate, with the program management, and also the student life department. And I don't know whether you remember as well our gala. A fantastic evening. And I share a passion with you as well because you're an excellent mountain biker. So Xavier, it's over to you if you have a few words to say. Hello, everyone. Now, I hope you remember the gala, all of you. That's really important for us. It's such a delight to be here to talk to you again after 2 years where we were separated. And these 2 years were an opportunity for me to take a step back and look at the time that was spent here. 5 or 6 years ago, we arrived from all over France, maybe from all 4 corners of the world, without knowing each other, without having an idea of what we were going to experience here. And the student investment and investment in associations was probably the best way for us to come together, meet each other, federate, and become a real team. Sometimes we were in competition, sometimes we had to make efforts to do difficult work, but it was really necessary, and it's enabled us today to go deep down and look at our own souls and our personalities and find our real identity and know that we're members of EDHEC. Today, looking back, and now that we've started to work, we've started to become involved in other things, but we always keep the memories of what we've done here and all of the things that have enabled us to be who we are today, move out of our comfort zone, gain in self-confidence, and to carry on that journey independently, to go out on the pathway of life. I'd like to thank all of the other members of the BDE, without whom it wouldn't have been possible, and without whom I'd never have been able to do this. I think we did wonderful work over a whole year or two, and it's so satisfying to see the things that we shared together. And this investment has lasted through to today. Even if EDHEC's finished, we're all moving on to our own individual projects. Tirez, for example. And I think that on behalf of everyone, I can say that we have experienced years that will remain in our memories, and they're amongst the most beautiful we've had in our lives. So I'd like to thank Mr. Mefredi and everyone at EDHEC for having listened to us, their support. I'd like to thank for Mr. Mayer, who was always a support for us and who always gave us a lot of room for maneuver. And then finally, I'd like to thank you all as well, students, without whom nothing would have been possible, because we're a huge family, and it's such a pleasure to see you all, and I hope that we'll see you all this evening. Thank you very much.
Hervé.
Merci. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much to our students. Thank you, Jean-Christophe. Now, normally, as our Director General said, we would have heard Bruno de Pamplin, the President of EDHEC. Unfortunately, he can't be here with us today, but he wanted to give us a warm message for all of our students and graduates today.
Bonjour à tous. Dear Emmanuel, dear professors, dear teachers, dear EDHEC staff, their parents, their audience, and above all, their students, I really wish I could have been here with you today. COVID has kind of turned our life upside down for the last 2 years, and traveling has become slightly more challenging, I would say. So, finally, today is the day when you all receive your diplomas, the day when you enter a new stage in your life. Sincere congratulations, batch of 2020 and 2021. So, some of you might consider this new stage with optimism, others with impatience, and some may even be apprehensive. Whatever your emotion may be today, I assure you that this is a hell of an exciting time waiting for you. Looking back at the past has been quite fascinating to see the rapidity in which the pace of time has accelerated. The world is opening even more, with ecological, technological, sociological revolution multiplying in front of our eyes. And even if not all of them are for the best, this is clearly an exciting time. So time undoubtedly has accelerated significantly, and no doubt it will continue to do so. Today, you're the new kid around the blocks, you're the future, and that's good. It's kind of great for you. But you should not forget that tomorrow you'll be the past. And tomorrow is just around the corner, guy. So one of my advice to you all is, Do not waste your precious time. Be insatiable. As Steve Jobs says once, do not let yourself be bound by your certainties. Do not let failures get you down. It will actually make you much stronger. Oscar Wilde put it in a different way. Experience is the hardest kind of teacher. It gives you the test first and the lesson afterwards. So always aim for the best. Aim for excellence. Yeah, I know it sounds a bit corny, but it's true. Really aim for excellence. But above all, do not forget as well that there is no success without respect. Respect for your environment, respect for our planet, for your teammates, for your friends, for your family, and don't forget, for yourself as well. Be creative, challenge yourself, and always ask yourself the good questions in life. You know, once a reporter asked Oscar Wilde what his answer would be to the unbearable existential questions that any man or woman would ask himself or herself. Who am I? Where do I come from? And where do I go? Oscar Wilde had this great answer, which is, my name is Oscar, I come from down the streets, and I'm going to the pub for a beer. So I'm stating this anecdote before you to tell you that sometimes the simplest of all answers are the best for the most complex problems. So ask yourself the good questions and make sure you take on the challenge to seek the right answers. Always be curious, be eager to learn. Today we live in a society defined by unlimited access to information. So your biggest challenge is not this access to information. You're bombarded with it. Your biggest challenge is to process it, to make sure you act, you take decisions based on the right one. Do not let yourself be manipulated by others. Form your own will, your own personality. Remember also this quote from Pierre Giorgini. Pierre Giorgini was the dean of the Catholic University in Lille. When I know, I share. When I don't know, I ask. Pretty simple. And do not only ask Google, please. And Galileo take it a step forward when he says, the more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. So remember that. Be modest. However successful you are, remember that you don't know that much anyway. Be conscious of the fact that it's not what we say which is important, but rather how the other understand it. So be explorative, be curious, or once again, as Steve Jobs puts it, be crazy. We're living here with a complicated world, and this world can sometimes be harsh, even dangerous, certainly challenging, but it's also an exciting one and full of opportunities. And this world needs to be reinvented, and that should be your mission of all of you to do so. And this world that you're set to explore may probably, and has already, experience continuous disruptions. Creative destruction, as Schumpeter predicted. The sector of today are called fintech, medtech, biotech, proptech, agrotech, and so on. The currency of tomorrow may not be the dollar or the euro or the ruble or the pound, but very well the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, and other BNB. And all these disruptions have already started to change our way of lives. So you know, Bill Gates 20 years ago was saying that we'll still need banking, but we might not need banks. I left banking actually 15 years ago, so for once I probably got my timing right. But we see that today. So here again, my recommendation for you is to keep being curious. Go all over the world and meet other culture. Explore the new way of life, explore new technology, construct your own experience. Irrespective of whether they are rewarding or disappointing, they will always be enlightening and useful. Believe. Always believe in your future, in your potential, and believe in yourself. Lastly, I would like to share this very well-known motto which goes, unity creates strength. L'union fait la force. Together we are strong. We stand strong in our family, stronger in our businesses, stronger in our community. And I hope the EDHEC community, to whom we all belong, will allow us to be stronger, for sure, and above all, better. So I would like to conclude by wishing you all every happiness in your personal life and the best of success in your professional life, but also the best of success in your personal life and every happiness in your professional life. So now batches of 2020, 2021, seize your path and just do it. Thanks a lot.
Nous allons maintenant.
We're now going to move on to the major sessions. So we're going to start with the different specialization majors. I will keep Benoît Arnaud with me, and I'd like to call upon Angelo Bisignano again, who is in charge of global business.
Okay. Je voulais appeler for the international management with a global, with a foreign language track, Laura Dugardin, 2020, and Clémentine Hubert, 2021.
Félicitations.
Congratulations to our students.
I went too fast. Angelo stays with us and calls up our global business students.
And for the global business track, I would like to call on stage, please, Hugo Di Fazio, 2020, and Umaima Bouzaidi, 2021.
Photo. Et encore félicitations.
Congratulations. Thank you, Angelo. I would now like to call Jean-Christophe Mifredi for the business management program. Thank you, Alicia. Now we're going to start for business management with the international business track, and our two winners are Alex Vankov, 2020, and Yann-Axel Monet, 2021.
Et Yann-Axel, est-il là? Non. Non. Je vous laisse juste, on va se décaler au fur et à mesure.
So we'll just move along. We'll stay on the stage for all of the majors. Now we'll move on to human resources and operational leadership for Horizon. And I'd like to call upon Marie-Philippe Graziani for 2020 and Thérèse Mabilé for 2021.
Je vais commencer par la 2021 alors. Félicitations. Félicitations. Je vous laisse rejoindre Alex.
Now we move on to entrepreneurship and enterprise development, business development, and I'd like to call upon Hugo Dolphus for 2020 and Marion Jumeau for 2021. Now we move on to apprenticeship. You know that there are two courses. We're going to start with retail management and e-business. And I'd like to call upon Anaïs Morlot for 2020 and Clément Desfresnes for 2021.
Ah oui, le pompon. Félicitations. Alors,
Okay, so before going back to apprenticeship, first of all, let's look at Horizon Retail and Distribution Management. I'd like to call upon Théophile Anquet for 2020 and Zoé Deleu for 2021.
Vous voulez pas votre trophée? Félicitations. Alors,
Now, if we come back to apprenticeship, this time it's the regular track, and I'd like to call upon Gauthier Le Corvaisier for 2020 and Lola Deneuve for 2021.
Alors,
Now, they were both major of the Horizon Marketing Intelligence and Innovation. I'd like to call upon Alice Vincent for 2020 and Sophie Lemaire for 2021.
félicitations. Pour l'horizon audit et
For Audit and Financial Management Horizon, our two winners are Hugo Sinibaldi for 2020 and Geoffrey Caron for 2021.
Alors,
Now for Horizon, Banking and Wealth Management, or Asset Management. I think I can hear them. Adrien Berger for 2020 and Pauline Thomas for 2021.
bravo, un immense bravo à
Congratulations to you both.
Félicitations.
And finally, every year we have students from the Lille campus who go to the campus in Nice for their final year specialization. And this year, one of them returns with the first place, major, and it's Julien Cordier, 2021, major for hospitality and events management.
Je ne sais pas si il est là. Non. Eh bien écoutez, je vous propose une petite photo tous ensemble.
So let's have a photo together.
Hop, je vais mettre à côté de vous. Un immense bravo à tous.
Congratulations to you all. Thank you very much. Now that we have congratulated our majors individually per specialization, it's time to move on to the major of majors.
Et pour cela,
And in order to do so, drum roll. For 2020, it is Valentin Fontaine, and for 2021, Pauline Thomas.
il mérite vraiment un tonnerre d'applaudissements. Major.
A round of applause for these major of majors.
Quelle responsabilité. Félicitations. Félicitations. Bah, une deuxième, c'est pas grave. Petite photo. Petite photo. Merci.
Being part of EDHEC alumni also means entering into traditions, sharing aspirations and commitments, embracing values. And these are all summarized in a key document that we call the Pledge of Loyalty, which is the symbol of your degree and the fundamental values that your school wants you to retain, keep, and embody.
Is to join our traditions, share our dreams and commitments to embrace our values. All of these are summed up in one key element, the Pledge of Loyalty, which is the symbol of your diploma and the fundamental values that your school wishes you to keep and embody. And to read the Pledge of Loyalty, I would like to invite on stage Agathe Rohan, Global Business Track.
So I hope my accent is all right. A lot of people, a bit of pressure, but as a proud EDHEC graduate, I pledge that I will develop and use my knowledge and skills to make a positive, real impact on society. I will apply my curiosity, my capacity for boldness, and my entrepreneurial spirit to innovate and change practices for the better. I will seek to inspire others by acting with integrity and in a responsible and ethical manner. I will use my EDHEC experience to promote new ways of living and working together in a climate of caring and trust, and which respect equality and inclusiveness. As an EDHEC graduate, I will apply the school's values of engagement, open-mindedness, and creativity to make the world around me a better place and to serve future generations. Thank you.
Merci Agathe.
Thank you, Agathe. This is a document that you will have in your tote bags, and it's something that you can all read together. Now it's time to take a look back at some of your graduation memories with photos. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the student live video.
Nous passons.
We're now going to move on to all of our students who are going to be coming onto the stage via specialization, horizon and course. And so I'd like to call upon the 2020 cohort for global business.
On appelle tout de suite la promo 2.
And now 2021 for global business.
Allez-y, n'hésitez pas à monter un peu plus sur les maps.
Don't hesitate to come up the stairs, everyone. Please come up to the stage.
On the left for the 2020 and for the 21. Are there?
Le parcours Global Business.
Global Business 2021.
Global Business 2021.
Global Business 2021.
Alors, nous appelons maintenant.
Now we'd like to call upon students for international management with a foreign language, and we will start with 2020.
Promotion 2020, on va vous demander de passer à...
So, 2020, if you could move on to the left of Mrs. Domenico.
Et puis on va appeler aussi les promos.
And now we'll call upon the students for 2021 for international management, with a foreign language.
Je vais les redire après. Alors que les étudiants du Global 2021 ne s'inquiètent pas, ils passent juste après, ils ne nous ont pas entendus précédemment. Sonia, je vous invite à passer à notre droite. Et puis on va faire une photo tous ensemble. Resserrons-nous, enfin, n'hésitez pas à passer devant.
Je vais monter, pardon.
Merci. Et donc...
Now, as our international management students leave the stage, we'd like to call upon the global business students for 2020. If you'd like to come up onto the stage.
Ah, je me disais qu'il nous en manquait. Ah, puis il manquait un groupe. Eh ben du coup pour vous, on va vous laisser tout le centre. Merci beaucoup. On vous laisse retourner à vos places. Donc, pour commencer...
Now, if we continue with business management, now we'll move on to the international business track. I'd like to call Elie Salomé to join me on the stage. Elie, so we're ready to welcome your students, and we'll start with 2020 for the international business track.
Après la promotion 2020,
Now, after 2020, I'd like to call upon the 2021 cohort for the international business track, if you'd like to come onto the stage.
Bonjour, félicitations. Ça fait plaisir de vous revoir. Ouais. Félicitations. On vous laisse regagner vos places.
Nous passons maintenant à...
Now let's move on to our students for the development of human resources and in operational leadership. And I'd like to call upon Jean-Christophe Cachot, if he'd like to join us on the stage. Oh, you've got fans. And now I'd like to call upon the 2020 cohort for this horizon.
Promotion 2020. Où sont-ils?
So where are you, 2020?
a qu'on voit fréquemment. Hein. On se retrouve.
Et tout de suite, la...
And now, straight away, we'll move on to 2021 for that horizon.
Allez-y, on voulait vous mettre sur la gauche la promotion 2021 qui nous rejoint. Ah, c'était émouvant de tous vous revoir. On vous laisse venir du côté droit. Allez-y, serrez-vous avec vos camarades. Bonjour. Un petit cri de guerre. Allez. Oh. Ouais, c'était mou là. Allez, 1, 2, ouais, allez. Merci beaucoup. On vous laisse retourner à vos places. Et c'est maintenant le moment.
And now we'd like to welcome our students from entrepreneurship and business development. And if Alex Sauvage could join us on the stage. Thank you very much for being with us here today. Now, for those of you who were part of this cohort, and we couldn't be here today, so Alex Sauvage is representing her. But obviously we're delighted to see him, and we think of Angui. So now we'd like to call upon our students for entrepreneurship and business development for 2020, if you could come up onto the stage.
Sur l'estrade, et puis on appelle en même temps la promotion 2020.
And at the same time, we'll call upon the 2021 students for entrepreneurship and business development. 2021.
Ah, la sonorisation vers le fond semble pas fonctionner. Ah, quand même.
Nous allons maintenant appeler l'horizon.
Now we'd like to call upon retail management and e-business apprenticeship, and we'd like to call upon Sabine Réau to join us on the stage.
Et nous appelons donc
And we'll call the 2020 class for this sector, so retail management and e-business apprenticeship.
Management.
Promotion 2021, vous êtes invité sur scène.
And now for 2021, you're invited to the stage.
Bon, ben, la 2021 n'a pas l'air d'avoir envie de venir.
Does 2021 not want to come up onto the stage?
La 2021, toujours pas?
Still no one from 2021? Ah, here they come. So that we can take a photo with everyone together.
Vous installer à côté de vos camarades.
Allez! Ouais. Merci beaucoup.
Pour l'horizon
For retail and distribution management, I'd like to call upon Martin Chour, if he could come and join us. Thank you, Martin. And we'll start, obviously, with the 2020 students for retail and distribution management.
Je demande à nos étudiants de la promotion, nos anciens étudiants de la promotion 2021 de cet horizon.
And now the students for 2021 for that same horizon.
Il va falloir faire de la place, Hervé.
are wild and free, making memories.
Take me by the hand, let's forget our plans. Dreams are all we have, I wouldn't have any other way.
Allez, super, merci beaucoup.
All of the stupid things we do.
Nous passons maintenant.
Now let's move on to the students from the regular track apprenticeship course, and I'd like to call upon Aurélie Cousin.
Nous appelons maintenant donc la.
So first of all, the 2020 students who took part in the regular track apprenticeship course.
Nous appelons aussi la promotion 2021.
And now 2021.
Camille. Bien, et vous? Passe devant. Ça, on va faire un cran. Allez! Merci beaucoup. Pour l'horizon,
And now, for Marketing Intelligence and Innovation, I'd like to call upon Claude Bishop to come up onto the stage with me.
Claude.
Claude.
Et j'appelle bien évidemment tout d'abord
And first of all, the students from 2020.
on vous laisse passer à gauche du professeur Pécheux.
Et on appelle aussi
And also 2021.
Allez-y, allez-y. N'hésitez pas à avancer.
Ils sont nombreux, mais on est tous ensemble.
Allez, venez, venez, venez. Oui, oui, venez.
Oui, oui, allez-y, allez-y.
Au grand temps, c'est bon. Non, raté. Désolé. Merci, merci beaucoup.
Now we'd like to call upon the audit and financial management class. First of all, could Gilles Collet come and join us on the stage? And obviously we'll start with the class of 2020. And we await you on the stage. Followed by the class of 2021. Come up onto the stage with us.
Alors, on va suivre, allez-y, allez-y, on va suivre ce que dit Hervé. Voilà. Approchez-vous. Place maintenant à l'horizon.
Now let's move on to bank and asset management. And I'd like to call upon the person who embodied this course for many years, who started it, Mr. Jacques Rissos.
Je vais bien. Et nous appelons bien évidemment.
And we'd like to call upon the class of 2020 for bank and asset management.
Évidemment, la 2020.
And the class of 2021, come on up with us.
Jacques, n'hésite pas à passer devant. Tiens, on va te mettre devant. Viens devant. Voilà. Avec tes étudiants. Valentino, je vous laisse aussi conduire votre groupe de ce côté. Jacques, je t'ai perdu. Oui, Jacques. Ah bah il est là-bas. Ah, j'en ai pas. Merci beaucoup. Félicitations. Félicitations, bonjour.
Un certain nombre de
Now, a number of our students from the campus in Lille originally chose to follow some courses during the fourth year in Nice. And so we'd like to call them up onto the stage. But first of all, we have Elodie Deremo from the BBA who is going to come and join us. So I'd like to call upon all of the students from 20 and 2021 for financial audit and financial controlling, digital commerce and e-business, hospitality and event management, luxury and communication strategy, and asset management and investment banking. If you could all come and join us up on the stage, please. So from both years.
Ravi de vous revoir à nouveau. On vous laisse nous entourer. Non, mais c'est très bien.
On va passer.
On va peut-être le faire en deux fois.
Oui.
En deux fois. On va commencer par la 2020, ça sera plus simple pour toi. Oui. On va commencer par la 2020.
Let's start with 2020, if you don't mind, and then we'll do 2021 afterwards, because there are a lot of you here today for this EDHEC celebration.
Vous serez,
And that way you'll be in two groups. I think it'll be easier.
dernier à passer, après il y aura la cérémonie du concombre. Merci à tous. Merci à tous.
Thank you very much to you all. Thank you to the members of staff who were all with us here today, with our students, our former students. Now we're coming to the close of this ceremony, but a real EDHEC celebration wouldn't be a celebration without the traditional throwing of mortarboards into the air. And in order to do this, I'm delighted to welcome on the stage Mrs. Zuccarelli, who is an alumni of EDHEC, and she's in charge of student life and operations. Thank you, Anne. Now, this tradition, which is going to symbolize your graduation, will be carried out in 3 stages. So first of all, stand up, everyone. Dear students, graduates. First stage, have you put the pom-pom to the right? Second step, you can place it to the left. Third step, we're going to count down from 5 to go. I will do that. And when I say go, you can all throw your mortarboards in the air. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Thank you, everyone. If you could all give your headsets to the gentleman who's waiting at the exit, please. You're all invited to a cocktail to celebrate this graduation ceremony. Congratulations, and please don't forget to give your headsets in as you leave the room, please.
We are wild and free, making memories. I'm making memories with you. All of the stupid things we do. We bring it home when we are wild and free, making memories. Take me by the hand, let's forget our plans.